dietitian and diabetes educator here at Mahaska Health. Did you know that good nutrition can play a good role in boosting and keeping a healthy immune system? Today on The Scoop, we're going to be making oatmeal bars, and we'll talk a little bit about some of the different nutrients and the ingredients that we're using and how those can help improve your health. Now, this is a quick, easy recipe. It's something that I like to make ahead, maybe on the weekends or a night where we're not really busy. Keep it in the fridge, pull it out for a quick, fast breakfast in the mornings. So first up, we're going to add oatmeal. Now, these are quick cooking oats. Oatmeal is a good source of fiber. It has a little bit of protein in it. It's a whole grain. It also has some zinc, so good for that immune boosting. Next up, we're going to add walnuts and flaxseed. Now, both of these are a good source of omega-3 fatty acids. The walnuts are also a good source of protein. Both of them are a good source of fiber, and the walnuts also have a little bit of zinc in them, so another great way to add those. Now, if you don't have walnuts or flaxseed, I've made this recipe without that, and it turns out just as good. So those are just things you can add to boost the nutrition if you want to. Really, you could add any chopped nuts or even chia seeds if you wanted to. So next up, we're going to mix in some brown sugar. Now, I would encourage you with the sugar to play with this recipe a little bit as you make it. Every time I make it, I cut back on the sugar a little bit. So that's something that you can do at home. Just add a little bit less sugar each time until you find a good balance that your family really likes. Next up, we're going to add our cinnamon, a little bit of salt, and some baking powder. So we're just going to stir this up, get it mixed up good. Now, some people add the walnuts on top. I really like walnuts, and I like to have them in the middle of the oatmeal bar. So it's just really whatever your preference is. All right, so next up are the wet ingredients, and we're going to start with the eggs. So we're going to go ahead and get those whisked together. This recipe calls for 1 whole egg and 2 egg whites. So you want to go ahead and separate the yolk from those two, and you can just dump them out or do whatever you want with the yolks. The egg yolk is a good source of vitamin D, so that's another great nutrient to add to your diet. Now today I actually used 4 eggs because I used farm fresh eggs. Now if you have chickens at home or purchase farm fresh eggs, something I've learned is that sometimes you have to play with the amount of egg in a recipe because the size of those eggs vary. So just a little tip for you there. Next up, we are going to add some yogurt. And I did use Greek yogurt just because it has a little more protein in it, and this is a yogurt that my family likes to keep on hand, so we had it. It's quick and easy. And then next up, some low-fat milk, about 6 ounces of that. So we'll just whisk those ingredients together. Now, milk and yogurt are both good sources of vitamin D and good sources of calcium, so they're great things to add to your diet. And then we're going to add just a little bit of vanilla, about a teaspoon. Get that stirred in there. All right, and then finally, this is the last step, we're almost done. We're just going to mix the wet and dry ingredients. We'll get that mixed in. All right, so we've got that mixed together. It looks a little bit soupy. I think that every time I make this, but it turns out great. So next up, we're just gonna pour that in a 9x9 pan, and we'll get it in the oven for about 30 minutes. Welcome back. We've got our oatmeal bars out of the oven. I usually cut these up into about 9 pieces, so it gives you a really good serving size there. You'll see the nutrition on our recipe, so you can check that out and see how that fits into your plan. Now, I like to eat this just as is. I might, if I'm pulling it out of the fridge in the morning, I might warm it up for 30 or 45 seconds. You could also put a little bit of maple syrup on it. My kids like it that way. Or add some dried fruit, some coconut, some extra protein with the walnuts are good additions. Even a little bit of Greek yogurt on top or some natural peanut butter are good ways to just up the nutrition in this and make it an even more filling breakfast. So I hope you give this a try soon. You might have noticed my Mahaska Strong shirt that I'm wearing today. This is part of our month-long recognition that begins in February for Heart Awareness Month. During the month of February, we'll be promoting heart health. So check out our website for details on the events that we'll be hosting during February's Heart Awareness Month.